Last week, it was reported that Dave Chappelle had tested positive for coronavirus after hosting some stand-up shows in Austin, Texas. The shows began in Ohio this past summer, and they've been known to take precaution when it comes to social distancing. As Chappelle's team has tested every day and all the audience is required to wear masks. Even with all the precautions, Chappelle still tested positive, and many are wondering if hosting the shows were irresponsible in the middle of a pandemic. Today on the show, we have our comedy hype analyst, Pierre, calling in to talk about whether or not it's too soon for comedians to perform.
No. I mean, unfortunately, people catch corona going to the grocery store, going to the, anywhere, just even going out, period. This, unless we all gonna stay in all day long, every day, every single person, which is not happening, which is not being mandated by the government, so it's not going to happen. So we can get over all that. We can sit there and say, well, I'm going to do it. Whether if you want to stay home all day in your basement or whatever you want to do and don't go out, but whatever you do in essential, that's fine. But Dr. Fauci even said, just wear your mask, social distance if you're out, and if you're out, could be out at a concert. And Dave is taking precautions. He's getting tested. His whole crew's being tested. Who says he got it from that show? We don't know that he got it from that show. He could have got somewhere else, a normal living. So I wouldn't say that necessarily, unless the whole government, the United States, said we all going to shut down. No, people going to go out. They're going to, as long as they're taking precaution. Now, I've been in Atlanta, and I've seen some clubs that ain't giving no damn, even Mississippi I was in, they're not giving no precaution. This packed 500 people in the club tucked together. Now, that I think is ridiculous. But in social distancing situations like Dave's doing, I don't see that. Again, we don't know where he caught COVID from, so to blame it on his comedy show, I think that's a little bit far stretching.
Now, I want to read a few comments from people who have responded since the news broke on Twitter, as well as, they're on Instagram. But I want to read a few tweets. It says, these celebrities today just don't care. He must have been going to Houston like Bow Wow. No, thank you. Another user says, all of these people are effing idiots for not wearing masks. What would happen if the richest man in the world kills one of our favorite comedians? Gomez announced she tested positive for COVID-19 on January 9th, less than 2 weeks ago before this night. And lastly, another tweet says, these celebrities need to sit their A's down. I'm looking at some of my favorites who still insist on doing live performances like D.L. Hughley. After hearing those comments, what are your thoughts on people who are kind of saying, cool, y'all are getting out here and trying to get out of the house, but y'all are still putting everybody's life in jeopardy, if you will?
Same thing with people making two or three trips to the grocery store per week. If you ain't buying $5,000 worth of grocery for the month, sit your ass down. That's what you tell me, because people in the grocery store, they're 6 feet. They're sometimes not even 6 feet apart. A lot of people associate with doing stuff. People going to work, in their cubicles or whatever. They're still 6 feet apart. You ain't telling them to stop working. So no, I ain't gonna tell comedians to stop working. Now, if you don't want to go to the show, then don't come to the show. That's it. Until they mandate it for everybody to do it, then I wouldn't trip. So to me, if you don't want to come, that's any artist. I mean, the artist ain't making you come. If you don't want, and they're taking precautions. We're taking precautions all over.
Right.
I mean, I fly. So what? I'm okay. I'm the fool for flying. To go, doing stuff, family and so forth. My bad. But I'm social distancing and I'm wearing my mask, and it's what it is. I mean, I hope I don't catch it, and I hope if I do, I survive from it. But to tell artists not to do it, man, get out of here with that, man.
So I want to read another tweet, Pierre, and this is from Hosea Sanchez, who says, black celebrities, restaurant, club, hookah, and strip club owners, etc., wake the F up. Stop leading your people to slaughter at the hands of the virus to gain profit and service your ego. You are facilitating mass extinction in our community. This must stop. To the patrons of these places, these celebrities hosting these events don't give two shits about you or your family. They are only there to make money, spread the virus, feed their egos, and go back to their mansions with premium health care. This is a trap. Accountability lies beyond governors and government when it comes to protecting our people. We must be responsible for our health and family safety. Mass extinction from super spreader events is at the hands of our own people. Stop the madness, protect us and all, and stay your ass inside.
I didn't know who Hosea is. That doesn't mean it devalues what he said. I looked into him. He seems to be a very passionate man about black causes, which I can appreciate and respect. But the way he's coming off at it, man, to blame it all on, these, just, you're putting two things together: clubs that are packing them in without any social distancing, protocol, and of Dave, who's doing a concert, who people are sitting 6 feet away, which the government, which Dr. Fauci, everyone says you need to do. That's two different things, man. You know, and all that leading up to the slaughterhouse, man. Nigga, are you wearing a rubber every time, nigga? Because AIDS is out there. You talking about that? Maybe you talking about what about this? You smoke weed? You talk about people who smoke weed when we don't come legally everywhere. Some people buy illegally, which kills neighborhoods and crime. I mean, what else? Gun violence, man. I mean, what, brother? Is it just something that's hurting your feelings, man? Is that the only thing you really putting on? Again, I don't know the brother that well, but you know, to me, there's a bigger picture than that. And if you're doing the protocol for Corona and you're a performer, and people decide they want to go out and they take the precautions for it, then it is what it is, man. At that point, it is what it is. People ain't telling you can't go out at all. The government don't say don't go out at all. Dr. Fauci don't say don't go out at all. You might saying that. It's just saying be cautious when you do it. Wear a mask, stay 6 feet away. And if that's what you're doing, it's okay. So what if it's a concert, a grocery store, the mall, whatever. As long as you're doing the precautions, man, we ain't staying in. We're not. And let me ask you something. If we stay in, does the rest of the world stay in?
When Dave came to Atlanta, I actually went to one of the shows, and you know, the protocol, the way it was set up, you know, you actually get tested outside. They had the truck away from the door. So, you know, we went to go get tested, and they also provided masks. So if you didn't bring a mask, they had that provided for you. And then after you got tested, you would go get in line. And of course, if you were tested positive, of course, you're not able to go in. But it's just the fact of, when I go to, like you said, when I go to the grocery store, when I do go out, I don't get tested anywhere else. Like when I am out in public, when I'm going to the gas stations and things like, so he's taking the extra precaution. It's just unfortunate that he caught coronavirus in that process. Like you said, it could very well be from outside of that show. Who knows, you know, what he's done outside of that. But something that I did read, it's great that he's taken these precautions for not only his team and his people, but for himself, because he caught it right away to then be able to quarantine and act on it, you know, appropriately, compared to finding out later and, oh, you've done 10 shows. But he was able to catch it in between the shows. Okay, now we're going to have to cancel these moving forward. So I think it's just a matter of, you know, like you said, we can't stay in the house. It's just a matter of taking the proper precautions and making sure, you know, if you are going to a stand-up show or what have you, wherever you're going, make sure you're doing the right thing and protecting that, not only yourself, but those that are around you. That's
all you can really do. Until it's mandated that we all stay home, you got to do the best you can to survive. And if it's going out to a concert that's socially distancing and everybody responsible, cool. If you're going to a place that they're not doing that, where they're just herding people in the room just for a party situation, I totally understand that. And that people aren't wearing masks, I get that situation. But that ain't the same situation here with Dave.